Good evening. Thank you for your attention. On October 23rd, 2009, a 20-year-old cashier at Home Depot was fired for wearing a button that said, "One nation under God, indivisible." He had worn the button for close to a year, and it had never been an issue until he started reading his Bible on his lunch break. He was terminated, and the reason was uniform violation. The legal profession can be both spiritually and financially rewarding. In the past few weeks, I've been studying the legal profession, the many options that it gives, and the next few minutes, I will express 3 points that I have studied. They are the flexibility and options that are available in the legal field, the financial benefit to working in the legal field, and I'd like to point out a few organizations that work for Christians' rights. Okay, moving to my first point, the options. Every possible career field out there has a legal aspect to it. So any interest that you might have, you can pursue a legal career in. Because there are so many different, if you wanted to be in the accounting field, they need lawyers in the accounting field. If you wanted to be an engineer, they need lawyers in the engineering field. If you wanted to be connected with professional sports, they need lawyers in that field of work as well. So it's very flexible. The next point was the job satisfaction and compensation. As you know, lawyers are very well compensated. They get paid a lot. But what I found through studying is that they also work a lot of hours. So the lawyers that make the most money are usually the ones that are working upwards of 60 hours a week. So they don't have much time for their families. So there's also lawyers that are in corporate lawyers, or government lawyers, and public interest lawyers. These lawyers don't make as much money, but they work a more normal workload, closer to the 40-hour work week. One interesting comparison I wanted to show you was, if you look at this chart, this is 5 years and after 5 years and after 15 years. You can see the dark line is the 5 years, the light line is after 15 years. So I don't want to give you too much here because it's a lot to take in, but real quick, this first bar is just an average of pay for the whole group of lawyers. All of these bars represent a different group of lawyers. As you can see, the big firm is the one that's the largest. It's got a starting pay of just over $100,000, and after 15 years, they're making close to $300,000. Where if you look to your right, the public interest start at just at $100,000. So it looks small compared, but that's still a very good salary. But over 15 years, it doesn't go up very much. So the lawyer who's working for the big firm can expect about an $8,300 a year raise in pay. And he can also get close to $3,500 for each 0.1 of his GPA that's above the average. So if you have a high GPA, you can expect up to $3,500 per point additional. The next item I wanted to show you was, this is the same group, but as you can see over here to the right, this chart shows job satisfaction. So as you can see, as a whole, for the most part, lawyers have a very high job satisfaction. But the ones that were the least paid, the public interest, have close to the top and job satisfaction. So they're not paid as much, but they're very satisfied with the work they do. Okay, the last point I wanted to make was on the organizations that work using lawyers, working in the legal profession, to stand up for Christians' rights, like the one I mentioned at the beginning of the speech. The first one is the ACLJ, or American Center for Law and Justice. It's led by Jay Sekulow. You may have heard of him. And they're more famous for the big case. They take the cases that will go to the Supreme Court. They want to take on the ones that are the big cases. They once took a case that involved a young girl who wanted to sing the first Noel in her school pageant. She was denied that right by her school, but the ACLJ took it to the Supreme Court, and she was given the right to sing the first Noel. The other group that I wanted to mention was the Christian Legal Society, CLS. They're more known for their work on Capitol Hill. They write legislation. One of the most famous ones is the Equal Access. They help write the Equal Access, which enables Christian groups the opportunity to use the same building that all other groups would use. So in other words, the Christians would want to have a Youth for Christ meeting in the school building. The schools were trying to say that if they sponsored that, it was a violation of church and state. This Equal Access says that any group can use the school the same. So the chess club can use the building, or the Christian Bible study can use the same room. In conclusion, the legal field is very challenging. It's hard to get into. It's hard to get into law school, and once you get out of law school, it's hard to get on with a big firm. But it can be a very rewarding field, and you can see where you can help, and you can do the things that God values. When you help those that are oppressed, and you help those that need your help, then you're doing what God values. I never thought that the legal profession was necessarily one that honored God, but I see through this study that there are opportunities for them to do so. I'd like to just close with Isaiah 1:17. It says, "Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, and plead the widow's case."